Hey folks, what's up? We are back, whether you like it or not. Today we are going to discuss the compilation Sonic the Sonical Hedgehog 1-2 in Knuckles. Much like with how we felt with that overpraised game that was treated as a AAA game known as TMNT Shredder's Revenge, we also felt disappointment when we saw the trailer for this Sonic Hedgehog compilation. Why on bloody earth do these companies insist on using outdated pixelated graphics? We are going to say right now that we won't be talking about typical modern half-made game nonsense that plagued this compilation. Besides, maybe Sega didn't care anyway, because maybe they knew you were going to whine about it on Twitter like an anime fan on prom night. It might just be fodder for the internet basically, so they can get as much attention as possible. So, rather than complaining about the physics not being as good as the original games, we are going to instead show you what we would like to see for these retro-based games, folks. We think this should be the standard if these companies were smart and actually put effort into modernizing these old games, or something like the TMNT game we just mentioned. Take a look at this. What you are seeing right now is a little game that you may or may not have heard of, called Sonic 2 HD. This game is everything we demand on a re-release of an old game. Imagine if we got these kinds of HD graphics that perfectly recreate what the graphics were meant to be. You want to know something else, folks? Every time we look at the manual of an old game and its cool artwork, we always wish the game itself had the same artwork-based graphics. Sonic 2 HD is a clear and true perfect piece of gaming art. If you don't think so, you are beyond stupid. Yes, we know, that's pretty insulting, but it can also be the truth. Besides, nobody said you're not allowed to correct that about yourself. We are also aware of how irrational people love to be anyway over a person of color, not caring for an overpraised game called Elden Ring. You should be thankful that we don't care about checking that game out. Anyways, hopefully you can understand why we don't like pixelated graphics on a game by an actual company. We don't hate pixel-based graphics, and we don't mind them on indie games. We just don't get why an actual gaming studio doesn't invest on something a little better like what Sonic 2 HD is. If some fans can produce that, then there is no excuse for Sega to not be able to do the same. We are looking at you too, Nintendo, and your pathetic excuses for anniversary celebrations over the years. The reason we love Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo was because every game was given a complete upgraded overhaul in graphics and sound. Clearly you cannot say the same for the recent Mario 3D All-Stars that Nintendo made you buy out of fear of not being able to buy it later. Sorry folks, but we think there's something wrong with how a game with pixelated graphics gets overpraised and treated like a AAA game. Sega needs to stop rushing digital garbage out. If you want a quick buck, then here's what you should do. Take that overpraised game called Sonic Robo Blast 2 and make it an official game. And most importantly, port it to mobile devices and more. That game had two ways of saving your butt, by the way. The first one was when it was still a Doom mod in the late 90s, and how you arguably needed a game like Sonic 3D Robo Blast even back then. But I guess Sega will have what they want regardless. Just look at how many copies bad Sonic games have sold over the years. And now that we have this saturated YouTube era of clout chasers, they'll probably still manage to sell these blue piles of rubbish. Yes, we are also talking about Sonic Frontiers. We assume that was a fan game project that Sega picked up because they were desperate to rush another Sonic game out. And that's why we refuse to cover that on here. The other reason we hated this compilation day one is because this clearly lacks many other Sonic games. If you wanted to only include platformers, then why not remake games like the 8-bit Sonic games or Sonic Flicky Island in the same fashion as those fan games, and better yet, with Sonic 2 HD quality graphics. We also don't like how this compilation has dated boring unlockables. If we want to look at a HD version of the Fun is Infinite screen, then we will just look it up online. We are not surprised that this compilation has something that we like to call Sonic for Toddlers. For a few digital coins, now you can basically use save states, so you can feel better about yourself. If you thought Sonic Jam's easy mode was Sonic for babies, then Sonic Origins has completely managed to do the unthinkable, make an even more easy mode. The added cutscenes may look alright, but this does make you wonder why they did not remake the cutscenes of Sonic CD, rather than just reusing the cutscenes from the Windows PC version from 1996. The cutscenes also look inconsistent, because they seem to take place right after one game. We are pretty sure that some games take place a few years or months later. These cutscenes are also nothing we haven't experienced before, because fans have already made entertaining animations out of these games. Overall, Sonic Origins is a bare bones compilation that you should avoid like a crazy Sonic fanboy. This round was already won by people that can offer better ways to experience these games. But even then, we are still not satisfied, but sadly, you just have to hack to win. See you again folks, and remember, watch your wallets, while also knowing how to talk with them. Don't be like singing, it doesn't matter how Sega keeps getting my parents' money, I'll keep giving them more.